No, Karen's account for Anime Japan. So this is like a warning. He posted this 3 hours ago. So we're gonna see what it's about, see where this goes, and see what he says. I'm pretty sure he's gonna say the typical things that make sense. So hold on to your butts.
Have to deconstruct this limiting narrative that our boys have been fed.
I've given our boys dolls, even if they tear the head off. If I'm reading a book and the protagonist is a male, I just change the he to a she because I want them to.
Wow, that's evil. That is evil. That is evil. That's evil.
See that women can be the center of a story.
Why? Why do you have to force that on them? Why? Why did that? Most men don't give a flying fuck about that at all. They don't give a shit. Like, let's put it this way. Over the years of, like, say, the PlayStation era, a lot of dudes played a bunch of women that was in main roles, from Lara Croft. Well, I'll say Lara Croft. Also, what do you call it? Nintendo's one for us. Aaron Samus, or Samus Aran, I think that's how it's called. There's Bayonetta. There's wait, what's that one chick? What's her name? Oh my god, it's flipping my mind. Holy shit, what's her name? Oh my god, I'm getting a blank. You know the game, but you can't say the person's name?
Women matter. We're recognizing what it is to ultimately deconstruct all these gender roles and ultimately be human. And
when it comes to entertainment, specifically what guys find entertaining, Karens and feminists have always been a blight
Rubs and tipples, like, rub that. I need to know what the meaning
to society. The ultimate buzzkill, acting like a vacuum, sucking the fun out of the room. This goes for Mortal Kombat in the 90s.
Here it is, behind me. It's called Mortal Kombat. We're going to talk to Aaron Brandis here about the game. Aaron, how does it work?
Fatalities are just what happens if you're really brutal to your opponent.
Sounds like a pretty thrilling game, and this is the kind of violence that...
Okay, sorry about that. So we have, what's her face from Mirror's Edge? I forgot about that. That was it. Mirror's Edge. We also have, Shell. I think it's Shell. Her name was Shell. Shell from, Portal. Oh my god. We have fucking, what's her name? Clementine from, Telltale's games, Walking Dead. Shit, I have to go and actually write this up because my brain was not working. Faith. Faith from, Mirror's Edge. I guess you can count this as a female protagonist, but this is more of a player's choice. You can say, Shepard from, Mass Effect, but that can be neither man or woman. That's really up to you, per se. I'm saying, like, it kind of makes sense. We also have, what's her name, from Nier Automata, 2B. There's so many different females. You can type, there's, fucking, wait, which one what are you waiting for? What do you call it? Oh, God, there's Kasumi from Dead or Alive series. I think she's the main character, if I remember right. I think it's more centered around her, right? I think she's the actual main character. Everyone else is just kind of like there. Yeah, Kane from Nier. She's not technically the main character, but she's one of the main characters. It's Tifa from, Final Fantasy VII. She's one of the main cast, like, top 3 people in the show, in the game. There's Chun-Li, correct, for Chell. I just say it wrong. And then you guys, I guess that you can count this as well. I don't know if it did well, per se, like, sales-wise, but, the chick from, or the main character's daughter, now she's the main character from, Hades. Hades 2, I guess it's the main character's daughter. She's now the main character. Or, what's that, Space News 11? Is it Space News 11? That dancing game for the Dreamcast. You guys know what I'm talking about. She's the main character, and that was back in, like, the early 90s. So.
That critics are pretty worried about. How do you feel about cutting his head off? One, a horrifying possibility for parents who can't believe the game makers are fantasizing about decapitation. That's pretty bad. That's just plain gross. In fact, Mortal Kombat so shocked the managers at a nationwide arcade chain that they tried a sanitized version of the game. Instead of chopping the opponent's head off, he simply disappears. Sales dropped 40%.
Take him up and what'd you do to the game? It's no fun anymore. The video game is a video game.
The bottom line, parents wonder if kids can separate fantasy from the real thing.
Also, claiming James Bond, the character, is misogynistic. You know, the go-to word to label any man in today's world that even dares to step outside and breathe air. Welcome to him. The reason why any male catered to property has been turned inside out. Even the Boy Scouts being turned into the American Scouts, allowing girls in. But when it comes to the Girl Scouts, it remains the Girl Scouts only allowing girls in. And now the Karens...
See how crazy that is? Why the fuck are you putting girls in the Boy Scouts? What does that benefit you? Just stay with the fucking Girl Scouts. Just go over there. Segregate your punk ass over there. Why the fuck do you need to put girls in the Boy Scouts? And then call it the American Scouts? What the fuck? Why can't you have them segregated? Oh, because it's not inclusive? Then put the ones who think they're a girl in the Girl Scouts. Let that ride out and see how that goes. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying? Right, take the ones who think they're a girl, put them in there. Yeah, they're just gonna lie. Why are you pushing that? I'm saying, like, it doesn't make sense. Better yet, how about this? Take the Girl Scouts and put all your inclusivities over there and keep the Boy Scouts and keep them separate from there. So you can have your Girl Scouts and keep your inclusivity in there. You can have whatever you want in there. You can still call it the Girl Scouts. Just say Girl Scouts inclusive if you want to do that. But keep Boy Scouts over there. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure no boy actually voted for this, or any man with a brain didn't vote for that at all. That was forced upon them by probably government push or some shit.
Have a new focus, which is Japanese media, but due to the cultural, geographical, and language barrier, it's much harder for them to penetrate to inject their activism and ideology. But even still, these witches will go to huge lengths to make sure the world bends to their activist ways.
The boys learn, PT says the boys learn more intuitive things like trying knots and hunting and fishing. Hey, you know what? I always kind of notice, penetrate you say. I noticed that with boys, they're always doing like hunting type stuff, but girls are always like selling you cookies. Isn't that the stereotype, I think? I think that's a stereotype, I'm not sure.
A group of Western academics traveled to a symposium in Japan to complain that series like Demon Slayer are too violent and unpleasant for their audience. Canadian professor Sherilyn criticized the Japanese industry for allowing these works to be broadcast during family viewing hours. According to her report, Japanese content is so problematic under North America's strict standards that they are forced to restrict it with 18+ rating to protect their audience. The audacity and entitlement of foreign activists has truly risen to new levels. Now,
honestly, I heard a word of those cookies having unsafe stuff in them. Like what? What unsafe stuff is in the cookies? Oh, did you read about the post about Zero's Arthur mother? What happened? They got sick?
Not only are they trying to apply their arbitrary and contradictory activist standards upon their own countries, but now working to impose them on other countries and dictating how their own entertainment should be held and conducted. Is Japanese anime violent and unpleasant? A symposium exploring it from a gender perspective. That's a red flag. The symposium explored how changes in Japan's attitudes towards sex, sexuality, and gender roles have manifested in anime characters. If it's one thing feminists...
She saw the so the mother saw the new episode of the anime and called him the devil? What the fuck happened in the video? So wait, she was supportive of the anime before and she saw like one thing she didn't like and called him the devil?
hate is when males act masculine and when females act feminine, while vice versa, the opposite will always be celebrated and encouraged. Works such as Demon Slayer, which are broadcast in Japan during times when children can watch them, are prohibited for viewers under 18 in some countries due to sexual content, violent scenes, etc. This was reported by Professor Sherilyn Ober of the University...
Was it that bad? Oh, it was that bad? Wait, was she saying ironically, like in a joking manner, or she was like, you are the devil, like I hate you type shit?
Of British Columbia in Canada. No surprise there. The portrayal of queer sexual minority characters was perceived as violent and offensive by Canadian students who conducted a survey. Then there's...
I don't hear nothing about no fucking Canadian telling me anything. I'm dead serious. I don't hear nothing about their fucking no.
Group of feminist Karen professors discuss how the magical girl genre has progressed from the women characters being inferior, needing to use magic to fight against the injustices caused by
Wait for it.
men. And I thought that was funny how they worded that. It's not just villains or evil itself, but it's against men specifically, as they said. As if men are inherently evil, which is no surprise coming from these types. You know, when I read or watch any story, not just anime, that happens to have a villain that's a woman, I don't view it as women are evil causing injustice.
Yeah, I never saw it that way. I've never seen that. Like, I never seen it that way. I never seen where when I see a female villain, I perceive them as all women are evil type shit. I just see it as a villain in front of me, or like as a obstacle. I never looked at like a female like villain and be like, I'm going to project this evil villain on people I know in my life or people I know that people I've heard as evil. Yeah, damn it. Like okay, I guess the only real villain, and I think in anime you can kind of perceive in real life that you can literally like project on, is that one villain from we call it Rise of the Shield Hero or something like that, where she accused them of being assaulting her when it never happened, which that has happened to many men in the world. That is something that is more real life and close to home than anything, right? So that is probably the only true villain that you can project on and be like, that has happened to someone either you known or heard of, someone famous or something to that degree. Yeah, she's straight evil. Like that right there, I can say that's the only time you can project, because it was such a, I don't think anyone was seeing that coming. Like it when they first saw it, right? You can't defend it. So like it's wild or so, because like I don't know, it was just a weird thing. Like when I first watched it and I saw the premise of what happens within that, I was like, oh my god, I felt attacked. All for one would be friends with, pretty much. I can believe it. But like every other villain outside of that, like who's typically like evil as like all for one, I don't see them as like someone I know. I just see them as an obstacle for the hero, and that's it. Like I'm playing a video game. I just need to get past this level. That's how I look at it, right? So
to see it as a representation of evil itself being manifested, regardless of man or woman committing them. But when you're ideologically captured, like a religious cult, low-resolution thinking is default, maybe causing a drop in IQ points because of it.
What do you think the average IQ of this group is, huh? Some linguistic anthropologists think that religion is a language virus that rewrites
right?
pathways in the brain, dulls critical thinking.
The irony of those who are quick to spout colonization are the first ones to be guilty of it. These Karens most likely lack children, so instead, they try to be the parents of society, making everything safe.
Oh yeah, Jordan Lee Peterson said that. He said most of these are childish women who are replacing their, I don't know how true that is. Is it maternal? Their maternal instincts onto everyone else, given that they're trying to find a problem in something that doesn't involve them, or some shit like that. I don't know, like he said something to that factor.
Sanitizing anything that can be deemed offensive, which I might add again, mainly damn near only applies to males' interests. And the results, it only leads to an infantilized society, keeping everyone in a childlike state of mind. Generations being raised like the bubble boy, but instead mentally. Protected from anything that can be deemed offensive, only making society weaker, more frail and fragile, easier to break, where Demon Slayer, all anime is seen as too much for kids in their eyes. We used to suffer from prolonged adolescence, but now we suffer from prolonged childhood. These Karens have successfully sanitized every piece of mainstream Western entertainment, with pushback thankfully coming from the independent market, that they now have to do the same to anime, a foreign market, working to change it at its inception level. Take a look at this clip of Gavin Newsom's wife discussing how boys need to be fixed from, I think, like 8 years ago. That really sums up this Karen mentality very well.
We really have to deconstruct this limiting narrative that our boys have been fed. It's up to us to help boys stay connected, keep their heads connected to their hearts, not repress their emotions. It's up to us to raise and socialize our boys as human beings. So having dialogue.
You girls are something fuck else. When a man does that very thing, you demonize the shit out of him. BT says, parent your own children, not everyone else's children that outside of your family are you ruining everything you do. Yep, you're correct. You're correct. Baz love the answer.
Blogs with them about what they're consuming, whether it's in advertising, the media, video games, especially violent video games, is if we can support enough young boys and staying true to who they authentically are,
right.
Staying true to their empathic natural beings.
Right, which sometimes is sensitive and vulnerable.
The Bible's violent. You gotta ban that too. Or you gotta ban the Bible too. Because if you gotta ban any video games, you should ban the Bible. Which I don't want that to happen. Don't get me wrong. But like, you're going to sanitize everything and not teach them anything. They're not gonna teach them outside of what can be. Are you gonna ban hunting? Are you gonna ban them from like? They said not for them to repress their emotions, but they're trying to repress their instincts. That's what they want to do. So when they say they want to repress, they don't want them to repress their emotions. What they want you to be is a bitch, but don't have nothing to show you. Go ahead, talking to the trees. It's weird. They want their boys to be a bitch. They want to bitch and like cry and stuff like that. That's what they want them to do. But they don't want them to have like anger, which anger is actually more needed than you think. Now, it depends how you use that anger, that's the point. But they want to repress you to have no anger, just have happy and sad. That's it. You can't have anything outside that. They just want to repress your instincts as a man.
And a lot of things that
Oh,
conditioning
and use your pattern recognition skills. They definitely hate it when you can, you know, put 2 to 2 together.
doesn't provide a lot of welcoming space for.
It's crazy how when boys actually act like boys, it's seen as some type of glitch occurring,
Right.
like a malfunction. Like boys are treated like defected girls, being taught that their natural boy instincts is somehow evil.
There it is. See, I told you. Bro, I have not seen this. This was posted 3 hours ago. I just saw this. Thank you, Monty. Thank you, Monty. I just said it. You have the ability to sense stupid. See, I'm saying like anger is needed and can be controlled. It's like, I'm saying like, oh my god, I have not seen this video, and he's just said it right after I did.
I've given our boys dolls, even if they tear the head off. I've given them dolls to
Why? Why the fuck would you do that? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna put that in a bit.
learn that care and caregiving is not just an activity that's reserved for women, but that it's also an activity that is a responsibility of men.
Didn't you bitches say that men don't have fraternal feelings and fraternal feelings like women do? Didn't you bitches say that same exact thing when they was playing Pragmata? You girls made a whole article on that shit, saying feminists said that men doesn't have the same what? They don't have the same fraternal feelings like women does. Yeah, just give him an action figure, give him a He-Man, give him like a Skeletor, give him a what do you call it? A Gojo, a Goku. You know what I'm saying? Give him Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. Come on, give him Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a perfect thing they can learn from. I think of every superhero, of every Western superhero, I think Spider-Man is the perfect example of self-sacrifice and knowing to do the right thing even when you know you don't want to. Spider-Man is a perfect example of showing what self-sacrifice looks like, when doing the right thing is more important than being selfish. That's literally what Spider-Man stands for, bro. Peter has a back, right? I believe, to be honest, this might be a hot take for someone gonna hear this. I believe Spider-Man's way better than Superman, like as a person. You know what I'm saying? No, I never really like MJ either. I really didn't. I think Gwen Stacy's probably better. But then again, I heard that one comic where she cheats on him with Osborn. That was insane. Yes, like I believe as a person. I'm not talking about power scaling. I'm not talking about that shit. I'm talking about as a person. Peter isn't a perfect person. There's many times he has fucked up, made stupid choices and stuff like that. Yes, but I think the reason I'm pointing Spider-Man is better as Superman based as a person because Spider-Man's on that grounded level that he's still a man. He's not a godlike figure, right? But I'm not saying that's a bad thing for Superman because like Superman still has to play. He has to treat everyone like they're cardboard. Right? Great examples of self-control, right? So Superman has to have self-control on his physical strength in most cases. And I guess his anger. Oh, what's the example do you have? Plus he's human, right? That's mainly where it is, right? And this is where I would say, in some sense, where Goku is probably better than Superman in this aspect is because what makes Goku relatable on a physical sense than Superman is that you constantly see Goku, Vegeta, in the rest of the Z fighters training, working out, practicing. You never see Superman do a push-up. If you saw this man do a push-up, he's literally getting up by getting punched. That's the closest thing. Yes, because with Superman, he's born as a god. I think that one Superman movie called Superman All-Star, where he's testing his strength because he's dying from cancer or something, some type like a Superman cancer. And he's I think at the beginning of the movie, he's holding up this weight that's pushing against him. That's it's like some high weight, some insane weight that's not hard for him to hold up as a test. And I think in that test, he's figuring out that he's getting stronger, but he's getting weaker at the same time. He's getting stronger in strength every day for no reason, but he's getting sicker from it. Yes, Lex Luthor was disappointed that he was the cause of it. I think after Superman died, I think Lex Luthor looked within himself and said, "Oh my God, we need Superman," type shit. I think this is the movie where Lex Luthor actually made the mistake that Superman wasn't needed or something like that. But I think we're going off track. The point is that I believe that Spider-Man is probably the best superhero of all time when it comes to being human. And I know Batman exists; he doesn't have powers, but Batman is a godlike person when it comes to discipline. He has a John Wick sense of discipline that is no one that I don't think a lot of people can relate to. It is very admirable. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think Batman is as cutthroat discipline as a robot, bro. Right? That's pretty much what he said, to a degree, in the most wholesome way possible. But I think Spider-Man is just way more relatable than every other superhero that Western superhero has came across. I'm not saying they're not likable, not saying they don't have relatable stories. I just think he's the most relatable. I think anyone can agree with me on that. I think majority of most people agree with me on that. Yeah, he's a master of it, and remember, he's a dude who had money, and he used his wealth to go to these foreign countries to get better at being disciplined and stuff. Peter didn't have that. Peter just had his uncle and his aunt at the time when his uncle was alive. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Power corrupts. So someone like Peter, at how young he was when he got his powers, could corrupt the shit out of him, and he didn't let that happen after seeing his uncle Ben die. You know what I'm saying?
What I've done with both my daughters and my sons is if I'm reading a book and the protagonist is a male, I just change the he to a she.
Why? For both of them? That's bullshit. Why would you do that? Why would you blatantly pick a story that involves a man? Just pick one with a girl in it. That is evil. Imagine a man turns this around. Let's just change the talking points. A dude has both his daughters and his sons, and whenever he reads a book that has a female protagonist, he changes it to a male. The fuck? One could say it was a canon effect.
I want them to see that women can be the center of a story.
That is evil and that's delusional. You're outright lying to them for the sake of your agenda is evil. Just pick a book with a woman in it. I don't think any boy is going to complain when it starts normal as it ends normal. I mean, it starts with a chick and it ends with a chick, right? In most cases, they don't even write women to die at the end of the movie, in most movies, and majority of all movies and stories. Yeah, it's PT says that that's degrading in the fact that guys are insignificant and being capable of doing the impossible. Write your own damn book. Why are you purposely taking a book and just changing it? That's evil. But imagine if a dude did that. He'll get booed off. That's insane. They don't want their kids to live in a fantasy world, but they're doing everything to make them live in a fantasy world.
That women matter. We're recognizing what it is to ultimately deconstruct all these gender roles and ultimately be human. And
then we wonder why there's such a boy crisis occurring, where thankfully anime has male heroes that boys can look up to, like Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, which is why anime is being sought out now more than ever over Western media.
Boys, we all know, I think, or increasingly are realizing that boys are moving away from sort of the more progressive, the boys that spend time online are moving a little bit, I'm trying not to be political here, but are moving to the right.
She's not trying to be political, but she's saying, wait, once you mention progressivism.
And being sort of influenced by the Andrew Tates and some of that sort of alt-right socialization online that we know is very, very dangerous. My husband and I were alarmed when our kids were watching sports online and my son knew about Andrew Tate.
Wow, he knows a person. He knows a celebrity that everyone knows. Would you be mad if he knew who Hitler was? Are you mad that he knows who the devil is? Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, he knows who Andrew Tate is. Are you gonna be mad he knows who 50 Cent is too? But you probably have no problem if he knew Ninja Sarkisian. Like, bro, imagine she's mad that she knows who. Imagine she's mad that she knows who he knows is Andrew Tate, but she won't have no issue. She knows who Ninja Sarkisian is, or the bitch from fucking what's that fuck? What do they call it? Sweet Baby Inc. The CEO, or the bitch from what do you call it? Indiana Jones 5. Like, are you kidding me? Oh my god. Yeah, Mr. Krabs. Yeah, he's gonna tell you hate Mr. Krabs. he knows Mr. Krabs.
And thought he was pretty cool and thought that his Republican grandfather, who's not a Trumper, but a fiscal conservative, thought that my father would like Andrew Tate. So that's scary. We're like one of the most progressive households, and our son is confused and asking all these questions.
But real quick, since Demon Slayer has been the target for these feminists, it's only right I dedicate this video sketch to the beautiful, feminine, pleasant, always smiling Mitsuri. Now for this, I did want to challenge myself to meet the level of detail this sketch required, but something I won't do in the future is to fit drawing it all in.
Is this his drawing? Let's go, Monty. Let's go. Let's go, Monty. You're doing a great job. At least he put he did a great job with the he tried his best to do with the depth perception. He got it right. He got the concept right. Far away means small, big means close. So he's getting concepts down. Structure's needs a lot more work, but he got the idea down. Once you get the idea down, then all you do is just focus on the structure. Let's go, Monty. Feel proud about yourself, bud. That's a great job. See. We like anime. We're not saying evil things to each other as men. We're perfectly fine as men. This is what anime taught us, to support one another and be honest. That's awesome. Like, see how I'm honest? It needs more work. It needs more, construction-wise, but he'll get it. But he did get the concept right. Should I lie to him and say it's perfect in every way? No, it's not perfect in every way, but it's great. He did a great job. I can know who it is. I know what it looks like. I have an idea what he's trying to do, No, that bitch wants you to lie to yourself. She wants to lie to yourself. Okay. Great job, though. He did mention to yourself? Okay, that's cool. This is awesome. I hope if he ever sees this, if he decides to see this video, when I edit this, he does a great job. Be proud of yourself, bud.
One setting when time is of the essence. I started to rush to get this done right before last night's stream after work, and it's clear to me why I did start rushing compared to other parts of the sketch, and why I decided to spend more of my focus to make sure to capture the essence of Mitsuri. But in an era where activists are demonizing Demon Slayer, criticizing women characters for being feminine, I just had to showcase and celebrate one of my favorites of Demon Slayer in top tier waifus, period, because fandom must always be louder than the haters or fake fans. And also, shout out to everyone who shared their sketch with me. We had a great stream last night and Tuesday, and I always enjoy viewing what you all have to share with me. Feel free if you're an artist yourself to check out the many products I tagged in this video, but if not, I always appreciate the love regardless. Now back to the video. This push towards neutering boys, males, period, is something these types will damn near never give up on. They won't stop at any point to make sure any piece of media will be stripped of inspirational male heroes, and anime is just the next on the chopping block. Also trying to rid the world of anything males find attractive, which is why fan service or anything resembling feminine beauty in the slightest must be rid of. And if any man chooses to embrace anything representing that, it must be done away with. For instance, check out this clip which talks about the feminization of society and how it has actually destroyed society and men.
So when people come to me and say, what have been the negative effects of the great feminization, that if you've got HR ladies planted in every single institution and who see it as their mission to get rid of exactly that maverick type of personality, there's so much innovation that we're missing out on, we don't know what would have been. One of the cancellations.
Good woman. If she's honest about what she's saying, then she's a good lady. She's being honest. Get rid of those fucking HR bitches. They need to go.
That affected me very emotionally, very deeply was, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was the astronomer or astrophysicist who had just landed a satellite on a comet or something really impressive like that, but he was wearing the t-shirt with the scantily clad ladies on it. It was like a bowling t-shirt.
I remember this.
Yeah, and somebody said, oh no, he's got scantily clad women on his t-shirt, and they put him through a struggle session for disrespecting women. And I was thinking, this guy just landed a satellite on a comet. Focus on that. He's so impressive, and you're putting him through this horrible public shaming.
Yeah, because they can't do anything. So it's like this. Because the person's successful and has some form of status or some type of expertise that a lot of people can't do, they look for any chink in the armor of anything, even if it's so irrelevant of what they do or what they're about. They like, so you could be a neurosurgeon, right? A neurosurgeon who's been studying the brain for probably 16 plus years, right? You could be like top surgeon. You know what you're doing. You know what you're talking about. You can name virtually everything in the brain, from the brain all the way down to the feet, and you know their names and stuff like that, right? And you're giving all types of information, all types of wisdom, all types of like expertise on what you know that is not only valuable to like most institutions and stuff like that, but just in general is impressive, right? But because you're wearing that one anime shirt with that one scantily clad character, or let's not even say it's a scantily clad character. Let's just say it's an anime that has a lot of violence. So like he's wearing, I don't know, say like a Berserk shirt, and it says Berserk. It doesn't have no violence. It doesn't even have the main character. He just has a shirt, jersey saying Berserk, right? The fact that they can even identify what that is, they're gonna say this guy's crazy, or he's about insane things that happens to women, which something does happen to a woman in that, and something happens to the main character at a very young age that is horrendous. But like, because it has those things, he's not talking about those things. He just put on a pretty much an IP shirt. Therefore, they're gonna use that against him as if he said something heinous. He asked for the death of a certain amount of people, or he asked for the death of children, or something to that degree. That's the problem there. And because the vocal minority is so insane and willing to go down that extreme path, they will not. So if there's like 100 people and there's 20 out of 100 is making a shit stain of a problem, the other 80 will cow down to the 20 because they know that the 20, or at least 5 out of the 20, is so radicalized to the point that they will take it to a level that will be violent or just outright unnecessary. So instead of just, you know, dealing with those individuals as you should, just because the 80% doesn't want any confrontation and likes to keep the peace, they will just kowtow to them. This is like those situations where they have like a father, like this is what I call Disney dad behavior, where the Disney dad is never taken seriously at all, and the mom is always the main authority or the smart one in the situation. And then when the dad is actually trying to be like serious, it's only when something horrendous happens where the dad actually has to step in. But when the dad's actually being serious in much smaller cases, we laugh him off or don't take him as serious. So by the time the 80% actually takes the literal 5 in that 20 serious, and then want to say you can't do that, they call them names and lose their whole shit, saying, see, you're bullying me, you're oppressing me, you've always been oppressing me, when the entire time I've been getting my way since Jump Street. But because you gave me that chance to get away with it, even the inkling of you telling me what not to do and what not to think and X, Y, and Z, when you know that what I'm saying is insane, you are the problem. And then somehow the 80% will fall in this weird symptomatic situation where they'll literally simp for that 5%, and instead of fully punishing them, they'll give them a half a punishment, or like a 25% punishment, or something like that. It's equivalent of like having like your little brother and or sister, or like your little sibling who you know is a piece of shit, but because mom and dad won't listen to you, you have to carry them along everywhere you go. Yeah. If you say that, like, if you're pressing me, it would be a waste of valuable time. Like, if you say that, then you disregard their whole existence, and then they'll say, if you don't let me, I'll off myself. They say that's what a loyal husband to them is a moron slave. Yeah, then they have yes. Then they complain when they have enough and they break up with it. Yeah, or they say they changed or something like that. So they originally got with him when he was in his center or in his purpose, and then when he actually turns his purpose and makes his purpose and center about them or revolve around them more than he should, that's when they start they getting the ick from him. It's insane. Yeah, that's a you problem then. Yep.
But that's the way wokeness works.
It's about power. It's about power. Wokeness is just a it's not about having a black person in a franchise or something. It's about authoritative like powers, the Marxist nonsense in it. So.
And register to these people that this guy has done something deeply scientifically impressive, that he might be a singular human being. For all you know, he might be the only person on the planet who could have done that, and all you care about is the shirt he's wearing.
This is a perfect example of what I mean when I mentioned the AMT, activist-minded types. The fact that this man has achieved a scientific accomplishment means nothing to the current feminists. They've only been conditioned to view the world through an activist lens. Men bad, evil, and whatever men like must be torn down. This man wearing a shirt of a bunch of baddies, shout out to him, was the sole focus for the feminists. Even if this man cured cancer, solved world hunger, achieved life sustainability on other planets, doesn't matter at all to the HR Karen. They serve as a roadblock to any true progression in life that could better humanity. By him wearing a shirt of attractive woman deems him to be put through a struggle session, only to neuter him, guilt trip him, suppress any type of male interest he may have, and make him a slave to the Karen activist sensibilities. It's like they want every boy, male, adolescent, and man to be treated like Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, to be lobotomized, having no agency if they dare act out of line, which to them means acting feminine at all times, repressing any masculine urge they might have, which is why anime has become their next.
The irony on that, the majority of those women end up marrying men who have those exact traits, or not even marrying, desiring those men with those exact traits. Like, the irony in that as well is, like, look at their sex novels. Excuse me. Look at their sex novels. Majority of their dark fantasy sex novels are those exact things that they have an issue with. Majority of them are taking dark novels where they're either being horrendously disrespected as a woman, or they're being fucked by some minotaur mystical creature thing, or something like that. Some bestiality, half-breed type man head, minotaur, snake, whatever the fuck it could be, type shit. Sex notes. Sex note. That probably would sell. I'm dead serious. There's like a Death Note, but a sex note version. There's a video about that. What, the sex note thing? It got strange. The sex note thing or the Minotaur thing? Because I know that Shuan had did a video on that. I think we did a video on that.
Target. But that's all I have for this video. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. The over-coddling and fanalization of the Western mind has gotten so bad that I recently saw this post. Shout out to Packer Girl. Should I watch Chainsaw Man? Help. I've been wanting to start watching this anime for months, but I'm too hesitant. I'm very uncomfortable with sexual or suggestive heterosexual scenes, especially if the male character involved is cocky and not serious.
Why? What? Why? Why does that make you feel uncomfortable? You're watching an anime. It cannot touch you. Like, I get that there's people who have PTSD or whatever the fuck, but you have to come to a realization that you're not in the room. You're not in the room. You're not in that world. Very great video, but like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Actually, don't watch anything. Like, Jesus, like, what do you watch? You know what? Should you watch Chainsaw Man? No, go watch My Little Pony. Actually, go watch Winnie Hot Juniors. I'm pretty sure that exists somewhere. Winnie Hot Juniors. Why watch? Wait, you have a problem with that? Wait, she said she has a problem with sex, like, let me see, suggestive scenes and main character. Then what anime are you watching? Well, mainstream-wise. Oh, no, just go watch Dragon Ball. Actually, no, go watch Dragon Ball Kai. Specifically that one. Don't watch Dragon Ball Z, go watch Dragon Ball Z Kai. I guess. Maybe violence. Well, how does the subjective scenes make you feel uncomfortable, not the extreme amounts of violence? Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird that, like, you watch, like, a show where someone is, like, being cut up in pieces and stuff like that. You can see their entrails and everything. That doesn't bother you, but a panty shot for, like, a split second. Super Winnie Hot Juniors. We know what happens in OG. Yeah, that's why I said not the OG Dragon Ball. That's why I said Dragon Ball Z Kai. Because I ain't gonna suggest Dragon Ball. Nah. Dragon Ball, like, original Dragon Ball, OG Dragon Ball, uncensored Dragon Ball, uncut version, and uncut Dragon Ball Z uncut. Yeah, don't go watch it. They eat wieners, the hunters, the flowers. Like, I don't understand this. Like, how can you watch a show where there is a gratuitous amount of violence and blood everywhere, but for some odd reason, a quick, I don't know, suggestive shot of something that's going to last for, like, what, 5 to 2 seconds is so problematic for you? I don't get that nonsense. It just doesn't make sense to me. A dark wiener gives the highest level of power. And then what's wild about that, they always write majority of all shonen protagonists as, like, they can't handle suggestive things anyway. They just avoid it at all costs. So I don't understand. Can you work with this?
From what I know, Chainsaw Man has a lot of suggestive scenes, and the main character, Denji, is quite horny. So I'm worried I might have problems watching it. However, I really like the character designs.
Oh my god. I hate this. This is the J.K. Rowling effect. I refer to this as the J.K. Rowling effect. You hate everything about J.K. Rowling, but you can't stop fucking with her IP that she made. And the funny thing is, if J.K. Rowling dies or stops writing Harry Potter, Harry Potter dies with her. So, like, it's not gonna be Harry Potter anymore. Yeah, be gone with you. Like, think of it that way, right? Harry Potter dies with the woman you hate. Now, we all know that when she dies, Harry Potter will still live on because every IP live past their creators 9 times out of 10. But it won't be the same. Yeah, pick a feature already. Like, either you go with it or you don't. That's the problem with it. They want to pick the thing that they know is going to be problematic for them, but they can't help themselves but put themselves in the thing that it's like that video of the girl that meme with the little boy putting the I said it the other day, he puts his hand in his shoe and he puts it on his head and he's on the floor and he's saying, why is this happening to me? Why is bad thing happening to me? And then he realizes him causing the whole issue. It's fucking stupid.
Cool rainbow. So I'm in this state of hesitation. Wow, this person, Jesus. All right. I really like the character design, so I'm in this state of hesitation. Should I watch it or is it better?
Don't watch it. Don't watch it. If you have to keep asking and asking and asking, because if you, like, come on, if you have to ask, then it's best you don't. I think the best thing you should do is always, if you're gonna watch something and you have to kind of have an ask about it, might as well not even bother. Because I'm pretty sure you didn't have to ask that question when you watched My Little Pony. Had a plan? What was the plan? Monty had a plan? What was his plan? Like if you look at My Little Pony, you didn't have to ask that question. If you look at Steven Universe, you don't have to ask that question. If you have to watch I don't know, Owl House, I'm pretty sure you don't have to ask that stupid question. Gunsmith Cats? I'm not familiar with that one. Gunsmith Cats. Too much macaroni. Like, let me see. Or Courage Cowardly Dog. Shit, you don't have to ask that question when watching, like, Foster Home for Imaginary Friends. Yes, I'm putting my stats out there. You don't have to ask that question when you're watching SpongeBob. So, like, well, you kind of do now because they've got some grotesque stuff into SpongeBob, I think, still. But, like, it is what it is. It has heavies? Yeah, check that out later. You got heavies, man.
Or not to. People who have watched Chainsaw Man, please help me. I don't mind spoilers, so feel free. This person is treating watching Chainsaw Man like doing a firewalk. Wow. Or crossing a narrow bridge held together by rope, or doing something daring like skydiving, like it's a life or death situation, or like Indiana Jones walking across an invisible bridge.
Right? Innuendos with
This is how bad things have gotten, the consequence of raising people like the Bubble Boy, unable to handle anything of mature content. And of course, heterosexuality itself is deemed offensive. A straight guy character being cocky is worse than Satan to these types. Consuming a story with a man character having male bravado is life or death to these types. This is a society Karens are proud of and are pushing all across the world. And as the saying goes, hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Guess which era we're in.
Yep.
Also, if you want to support the content I create, consider joining my channel, becoming a member. It's much appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Good
Free
video.
think. Peace.
Think. Good job, Monty. Good job, bud. Can't wait to edit this one. I'm gonna get some hate. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be people who are gonna see this video and say I'm being hateful or being mean or something. I'm pretty sure, without even watching the whole thing or so. Maybe the way I word it, but like they're gonna assume that I'm grifting or some shit or some stupidness or something like that. It's just common sense. But it is what it is. All right. So with that said, like, subscribe, share, comment. See you guys in the next one. I hope this was insightful or you had fun watching this, or probably it made you want to say something in the comment section. Probably something mean to me, probably. So if you do decide to say something mean to me, well, I'll probably read it, but I'll try my best to answer if I can, unless it's not something unhinged and stupid. So with that said, I'll see you guys next one.